Good afternoon, girls. So, yesterday we have seen the English vowels, both monophthongs and diphthongs. So, today we will go on to the consonant sounds. So, when we are talking about consonant sounds, they are voiceless sounds. So, when I introduced you vowels, they are called as voiced sounds. And consonants here are called as voiceless sounds and also sometimes voiced sounds, and those voice sounds are produced by means of an obstruction in the mouth. Okay, or when you are narrowing down the air passage, no, I mean by little bit putting your tongue so that it almost touches the roof of the mouth or narrows down the air passage while just moving up your tongue. In that case, a frictional noise will be produced. Okay, so when you get sounds out of that noise, that is called as consonant sounds. Okay, so when we are talking about consonant sounds, it could be described by five manners. Okay, using the five pieces of information that I have listed here, you can use this for description of consonant sounds. The first thing is to talk about the airstream mechanism that we use to produce the consonant sounds. Okay, so what type of airstream mechanism that we use, we have seen already. It is called as pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism, meaning that we use the lung organ to produce sound, and the air, since it is pushed out to produce the sounds, they are called as pulmonic egressive airstream mechanism. Okay, so this is the first piece of information to describe the consonant sound. Okay, and second one is the state of glottis. This again I have already explained to you. Depending on the state of glottis, we get two types of sounds, that is voiceless and voiced sound, meaning that when the glottis is open, what happens, the air escapes freely. Okay, out of that you get voiceless sound. When it is closed, the air will pass with the friction, and thus we get a voiced sound. So thus the second piece of information regarding the state of glottis, you get two types of description of consonants, whether it is voiceless consonant or voiced consonant. I think you remember I asked you to check with the two sounds per and b, isn't it? Per is actually a voiceless sound. So when you are pronouncing the per sound, you don't get any friction or vibration when you just touch your finger in the throat. Okay, so whereas when you pronounce the word sound like b or g, when you touch your finger in the throat, you will get a vibration. That is called as voiced sound. So when the glottis is closed, no, when the vocal cords are narrowing the space, when the glottis is closed, you get voiced sound with a frictional vibration. Okay, whereas when the vocal cords are widely open, the glottis space will be more so that the air escapes without any friction, and that gives you voiceless sound. Okay, so this is what is here about the state of glottis. And third point, regarding the position of soft palate, again you have seen this before itself. So when you are checking the position of soft palate, you get whether the sound is nasal sound or oral sound. Okay, when the soft palate, when the soft palate is raised above, what happens, the nasal passage will be closed so that the air can escape only through the mouth. So that what type of sound you get is oral sound. Okay, whereas on the other hand, when the soft palate is lowered, the nasal passage will be open, whereas the air passage cannot move out of the mouth. So how can the air will, I mean the air move only through the nasal passage. Okay, so what type of sound you get is nasal sound. Clear? So all these three things we have already seen. Okay, now we come to the new topic, that is articulatory organs or point of articulation. So this is one piece of information that we have to remember when we are describing any consonant sound. So depending on the articulatory organs or point of articulation, you have almost 8 types of classification of consonants. Okay, first one you have labial, second one is dental, third one is alveolar, and fourth one is post alveolar, and fifth one is palato-alveolar, sixth is palatal, seventh is velar, and eighth is glottal. Okay, so now we'll go on to the first one, that is labial. So labial is divided into two classification again, bilabial and labiodental. See, what are the organs involved under bilabial? So by the term itself you can understand bi meaning two. Okay, labial stands for the lip. When the two lips, that is lower lip and upper lip, both are involved in the articulation of consonant, thus the consonants are called as bilabial consonants. Okay, so here the lower lip will be an active articulator and upper lip will be a passive articulator. You remember what is active and passive articulators, isn't it? So active articulator is nothing but the organ which moves. Passive, the organ which remains in the same place. Okay, so when both the lips are involved, that is called as bilabial. Okay, so what are the sounds that comes under bilabial is p, b, w and m. Okay, p, b, w and m. So these four are bilabial consonants. So when you check while pronouncing the sounds p, b, w or m, you will find that both the lips are involved. Okay, and the second division, that is labiodental, here you have the two articulators, that is upper row of teeth and lower lip. So here lower lip again is the active articulator and upper row of teeth is the passive articulator. Okay, and here you have two labiodental sounds, f and v. Again you check yourself and see how the articulators are working, so that you will better understand why they are called as labiodental. Okay, now we'll move on to the second one, that is dental. So the articulators here involved are the tip of the tongue and upper row of teeth. And tip of the tongue acts as an active articulator and upper row of teeth acts as a passive articulator. Okay, and you have two dental sounds here, th and the. Okay, so you have to be clear with the symbol and the corresponding sound. Okay, you practice so that you will be very familiar with. This is th and this is the. Okay, and now we'll go to the third one, which is termed as alveolar. So here you have the active articulator as the tip of the tongue and the passive articulator is the teeth ridge. Okay, and these are the sounds that come under alveolar: t, d, n, l, s, z. Okay, t, d, n, l, s, z. Clear?